Hi, and welcome to On TV Cooking. I'm Ann Amodeo, and today we're going to take meatloaf to a new level, right out of the box. And with us, we have chef and butcher, Luke Moffatt. Luke, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
always a pleasure.
Great. Well, you know what? I love meatloaf sandwiches and had them every Wednesday. That was Mother. Wednesday was meatloaf sandwiches. So, and I still like making it. It's economical. It's tasty. So I want to know how you can take it out. And I know one thing is, you said, Marianne, bring in whatever you want and I'll put a meatloaf in it. So I've brought in a bundt pan. Now,
Okay.
Are you going to make that work?
Sure, we can make that work.
All
no
right.
problem.
Okay, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Okay, so the first thing we'll start out with is our ground beef.
Okay, what have you got for us and where's it from?
This is from Blackview Farms. Again, grass-fed, organic. Always make sure you get high quality meats. That's very, very,
It's
very
lovely
important.
and red, so it's all beef. You're not mixing it with pork and veal and all this
You
business.
can mix it with pork
You
and
can?
veal and anything like that if you want. No
Okay.
problem. Could you please pass me the silver bowl?
Alrighty, okay. How much is in here and for how many people is that meatloaf going to work for?
This here is maybe 2 pounds. This would be a good enough deal.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it'd be a good enough meal for about 4 people.
Okay.
Again, unless if you got big eaters coming, we might need to up that a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah. So 4 people for about a half a pound every person.
Okay,
Give or
great.
take.
Alrighty.
So the next thing that I want to do is, especially if you're buying grass-fed and organic meats, it can be expensive on the budget. So we want to stretch that food budget a little bit further, and we're going to add some of our broth to this.
Okay.
There's 10 grams of protein in half of this container. So each container has 20 grams of
I
protein.
want to have a peek inside. Can we do that?
And you can see
So
how
it's almost like a demi-glaze.
yeah, you can see how gelatinous it is.
Yeah.
That's all the collagen and that's the protein, everything. That's what you're seeing gel up there.
It's like bone marrow.
Yeah, kind of, but we make it from the bones, and this is just the broth that's left over. So we'll simmer this for 24 hours with some apple cider vinegar, and what that'll do is that long simmering time combined with the apple cider vinegar will draw out all the amino acids, and it will give this medicinal properties.
Okay.
So for example, you weightlifting guys that are out there, for example, our beef here has 14 grams of protein for only 50 calories, and there's that twice in here. So you're actually going to get, 28 grams.
Okay, all right.
28 grams of protein for 100 calories.
Okay.
Add this to your smoothies, add this to soups,
you're
stews,
kidding.
make soup stews right out of this.
Chili,
Meatloaf, anything you want to stretch your food dollar with. This is going to give you the protein, make you feel a little bit fuller. It's so easy to incorporate it into your life.
All right. So how much of that are you going to put into 2 pounds of beef? You got me now. I'm looking.
I'm going to put maybe about that much. Maybe about a quarter of the container.
Quarter of the container. Okay.
Quarter of the container. Okay. The other thing I'm going to add too is just a little bit of water because our broth is so gelatinous. It's going to need that water just to kind of loosen everything up, if you will.
Okay.
The other thing we're going to do is salt and pepper. If you could please pass me the salt and the pepper.
Now, here's the pepper, and here's the... So you're using this as opposed to, say, putting in Worcestershire sauce,
Yeah, absolutely.
stuff like that. Okay.
Save yourself the sodium, put something healthy in there, give yourself an added protein, boost the protein.
That's actually a very good... That's a very good point.
And always salt for sure.
Yeah.
Bring out that flavor. The nice thing about our broth is it is low in sodium as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'm with you.
for those watching their ticker and their blood pressure, this is a good option for you.
Mother always put in breadcrumb and cheese and parsley, but that's because we're Italian and we put breadcrumb and cheese and parsley and everything. What do you think of that?
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it.
You definitely can. If you want to stretch it out a little bit further, go for it. But as far as I'm concerned, you're going to have lots of protein in here. It's going to look a little bit smaller, but trust me, this is going to fill you up.
Well, I'll tell you something. Our meatloaf and meatballs and hamburgers, were all good, but they all tasted exactly the same. It was the same. And an egg, she'd throw an egg in it.
Yep.
But everything we made had Parmigiano cheese in it. So I figured, sort of think, this hamburger is delicious. It tastes like a meatball. And the meatloaf tastes like a hamburger. And another thing she would do with the meatloaf, sometimes we'd make half. And then put some sliced hard-boiled eggs in the middle and sliced mozzarella cheese, and then put the other half on.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely. You want to stuff it. Like, meatloaf is so versatile. You can throw anything in here and it'll work. Anything that you're going to eat beef with, go for it. Today we're going to do, basically a whole meal in one. So if it's tough to get your kids to eat veggies, but they love meat, this would be a good way to try and sneak them in if you can.
You've asked me. Now, are you just going to mix that up with your hands, or what are you going to do here?
I am, yes. I like to get down and dirty,
So what am I, and what's my point? Before we started the show, he said, now, Marianne, just start chopping up some vegetables. And I wasn't quite sure where we were going with that, but I have done it. You can say when. I've got some red pepper, what's this, some spinach, which I like, and onion, and a bit of parsnip and carrot.
Yep.
So how's that?
So that's great.
Is that enough?
Oh, that's plenty. Yep.
That's plenty, he says. Okay.
Good.
So what do you want me to do here now?
Just scrape her in.
Scrape her in.
That might be maybe a little on the heavy side, but we can see how it goes. We like veg.
You know what?
We like
Let's
veg.
just do it.
We'll make it work.
How does that? But yeah, there you go. All right, so let's see what's going on here.
Now
I brought a bunt pan for him
for the fun part.
Yeah. He said, you brought a what? Well, I don't know what you expect. I think that's a riot. That's good. So this isn't really a time-consuming recipe.
No, absolutely not. Okay. Especially with people's busy lives today, it's hard to eat healthy, especially when you're getting home from work at, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and then, trying to cook a meal, have it on table.
No, well, that's the temptation of picking up and eating out.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with obesity, childhood diabetes. And you know what? It's so tempting. I encourage everybody to be so strong and not to not to go that route. And it's called menu planning. That's what we do. Plan your menus. Tuesday is my day for planning menus, and I do that every Tuesday. I call it my plan and play day. And once I plan the menus, then I get to play. So what do you think of that?
Perfect.
I know.
Perfect. A good plan is always a good idea.
And it's a money-saving plan, Luke. It's a money-saving plan. So I love it. I love what you're doing. Okay, because we've got a finished one to take out. Now.
So this is basically what we're left with. You can see how all of our veg is nicely incorporated inside of our meat.
And when this comes out, those veggies will all be cooked.
They'll all be cooked, yep. So what's going to happen is the fat that's in the beef, especially grass-fed beef, has high in omega-3s, which is lacking in a lot of people's diets these days. It's hard to get them in there. But this beef is...
Why?
You find it in stuff like flax, chia, fish oils. And here I find, especially in Kitchener, especially with a very high German community, right? It's a lot of pork, it's a lot of beef. And,
yes.
There's not really a whole lot of fish.
That's right.
So this is a great way to add some omega-3s into your diet as well.
Okay, so now what are we doing? And guess what bunt pan I brought? You won't believe this. I brought him he's killing. I brought him a Christmas tree. And why not? I brought him a Christmas tree, a bunt pan. And so go ahead and do your stuff.
So the other way that you can really boost your omegas intake, as well as vitamin K, a lot of these vitamins are hard to get.
Because I would have sprayed it.
Yeah, you can spray it. I don't suggest you do.
All right. Well, while we've got a bit of time left, let's do this. Go ahead.
Pick up our grass-fed beef tallow and just give her a wipe on the inside.
Yeah, because that meatloaf should pretty much come out quick, nicely. And then the other thing is, kids would get a kick out of it. I think you could make that in any kind of cake pan.
Any pan.
Just for a change.
Any pan. Just make sure you throw this tallow in there. It gives you that added opportunity to add some nutrients to your meal.
As opposed
to spraying it. The spray will work, but let's add some nutrients. Let's make it healthy.
That's an excellent point. I really love that point. And you're getting me hooked here. This is, okay, so.
Once you get her nicely greased, get her in all the corners.
So for all those who have never seen meatloaf in a Christmas tree pan.
We're going to see it now.
Yeah.
Now, why not? It's time of year, right?
Well, I guess we can keep Christmas in our hearts always.
I love Christmas.
I know. and Easter and everything. So we could make it an Easter tree or a Valentine's tree. So you know what? Are we going to cover this? Are we going to put some tinfoil on the top? Yeah?
Actually, I got one more thing for you. If you want to pass me that container right there.
All right.
So this here is everybody's favorite meatloaf topping. Everyone loves that nice ketchup glaze. So that's what I've got here. It's a nice ketchup glaze. And I also made it with our bone broth as well. So again, I've added some nutrients.
I have a little spoon here.
So by making it with our bone broth, I've added some nutrients. I've added some more protein to this meal as well. I did not make the ketchup, no. I will admit that this time.
Okay, but you can make ketchup.
You can make ketchup. But basically, I took this with a little bit of brown sugar, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and then our broth, and then just reduced it. And I've added a lot of nutrients to the meal just by doing this.
That looks absolutely fabulous. All right, so that's going in the oven for how long and at what temperature, please?
So this one here, for 2 pounds, I would suggest.
And the filling. Mm-hmm.
Maybe about an hour to an hour and a half, and you'd probably be pretty good with that.
I think so.
You can always double check it. If you have a probe thermometer, stick it in. It should be 71 degrees Celsius. But I would say after an hour and a half, you'd be fine for sure.
We'll take the other one out.
May I have oven mitts, please?
Oh, yes. There we go.
Thank you.
All right. So you're going to let me know if you want me to cover this or not. All right. Let's see the meat. Now, is this one also going to be about 2 pounds?
This one here was also about 2 pounds, yes.
Okay. Look at this. Now, in the time we've got left, let's take it out if we can, plate it. Yeah. Sir, you can serve it like a roast if you want.
You could.
And, okay. Exact same recipe.
Exact same recipe, yep.
All right, let's have a look. I am going to, and meatloaf cuts so easily too. So I'm just using a kitchen knife here. I can see the veg, and I can see that the veg is cooked. Okay. And this is meatloaf for about 4?
It should be about 4, yep.
Yep. With enough for me to have a sandwich?
Enough for you to have a sandwich, for sure, yes.
Good. I'm great.
What good's dinner without a little bit left over?
That's right. I know it. Now, we're going to serve this up. It's going to be great, and the veggies are right in it. When we come back, we're going to do some more magic, and we're going to do it with chicken. So how does that sound?
That sounds great to me.
I think that sounds wonderful.
Let's do it.
Ooh, this is nice and hot.
Yes.
Okay, I want to see you, if you have a serrated knife, maybe you can cut it a little bit finer for me. Or how you would cut it. Oh, that's my favorite part.
That's my secret.
Yeah. All right, let's see how you can do this. Now that's a sandwich slice. Yes?
This here would, well, maybe your sandwich slice. My sandwich slice would be...
Oh, excuse me. All right. Well, I'll have 2 then. Okay. When we come back after the break, we're going to do some great things with chicken. So stay with us, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to On TV Cooking. And we're in the kitchen today with chef and butcher Luke Moffatt. Luke, you've just taken us through meatloaf to another level. So now, what are we going to talk about?
Now we're going to talk about chicken today.
Whoa! All right. So I really enjoy cooking with chicken. I use it a lot. I find it a great stretcher, and I find it very tasty and lovely. So what can you tell me that's different?
Well, if that's the case, you're going to love this chicken. This chicken is coming from, again, the same farmer that provided us with the ground beef for the meatloaf, Blackview Farms.
Okay, and what have we got here?
This here is Label Rouge chicken. So Label Rouge is a very specific set of standards that was developed in France for how chicken is raised. For example,
all right, I'm with you.
Most commercial chickens are only raised for 42 days. These ones have to go for a minimum of 75 days, so
Okay.
significantly longer. Again, it has restrictions on how many you can have on a farm, how many are in a certain area, whether they're access to the outdoors or indoors.
Yep. And we've got here a couple of chicken breasts or a double chicken breast. Is
So
that
these are bone-in chicken breasts.
okay.
And
Which I
find-
like. Which
yeah.
I like.
I find everybody always goes for the boneless, skinless ones, and they're
Not
missing
me.
out. You know, you got to have the bone-in ones. The bone is going to add so much flavor to it.
Let's see. Oh, look at that. Yeah. And I've always found that the flavor is in the bones.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you're keeping this simple.
Yeah, well, it's what we want to do, you know. With everybody rushing around all the time, we want to keep it nice and simple for
And
them.
you're not trimming off all the fat.
No, let's leave the fat on. The fat is healthy for you. Absolutely, 100%. When it's good quality meat, the fat is healthy for you because there's different nutrients that are in that fat that are lacking when it's just conventionally raised.
How do you want the zucchini?
Just in long
Discs?
spears like that is
Long
fine.
spears
Yep.
like that? Okay,
Yep,
that's
that
fine.
works for me.
Alrighty, okay. So you've got this. Now what are we doing? I see you've got a bit of a marinade here and you've got your tallow
Yep.
as well. Okay, so take me
So-
through that.
This here is a marinade I made with our beef broth. It's basically beef broth, a little bit of ketchup, some onion powder, some salt, some pepper, and then I've just kind of reduced that down a little bit.
Okay.
I've thrown a little bit of our tallow in here just to give it a little bit of mouthfeel. But again, I'm boosting the protein content and the omega-3 content of this meal by making a very simple barbecue sauce.
Okay.
Do you have a spoon?
Can you use it as a marinade as well?
If you made
You'd rather not.
If you made a more watery version of it, you could, but then you'd be losing all those nutrients if you're not, you know, actually consuming that marinade afterwards. If you want to baste it and then
okay,
use it
okay.
as turn it into a sauce for
Yeah.
afterwards, then yeah, absolutely. But you want to make sure that you're consuming.
So the density of the sauce that I'm looking at right now is exactly what you want.
Yeah, well, you need something that's going to stick and adhere to it, right? This way, it's going to
I'm with you.
glaze. When you throw it in the oven, it'll glaze on top as opposed to just running off.
Okay.
And you can just achieve this just by reducing it a little bit, you know. Just crank that heat up high and just reduce by about half and it'll get
Okay.
to a nice sticky barbecue sauce.
Oh, you missed a spot.
Oh,
right.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
No, because that what might be mine, and I don't want to do that.
There we go. Just give her a nice even coat.
I want to give it a turn too.
Go for it.
Go for it. Now look at this. I wanted to feel the consistency of it. So, yeah, it just smells like a really, really good barbecue sauce. So, yeah.
Again, you can find a million barbecue sauce recipes online, but make sure you're using the
But
base.
that's
with the
what.
bone
That's
broth.
the deal. That is the deal. Okay. All right. So there's that. That's done.
Again, instead of just spraying this pot out or anything like that, we're going to be dry roasting these so they will stick to the pan. But instead of using cooking spray or parchment paper or anything like that, do yourself a favor. Add some more nutrients to this meal. Just throw that on the bottom over here and maybe put
And you
another
don't
little
have
one.
to do that first.
No, you don't have to do this first. This is what this is going to do is this is now going to spread underneath everything. When you bake it, it's going to turn into a liquid and it's just going to spread and
I
evenly
bet that'd
coat
be
itself
great
all
with
over the bottom.
potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Roasted potatoes, a nice.
For sure. I might be putting a little much in here, but hey, it's good for us.
Yeah.
And it tastes good. That's the best part about it.
Don't forget to tell us where this product is available because I haven't looked for it, so I don't know. I can't comment. So you would have to be the one.
So all of our broths are available through Sobeys, Loblaws, Fortino's. You can find them all over Ontario right now.
covers it.
Yeah, I know there's plans to expand further than that
Is
possibly.
that right?
But right now we're specifically in Ontario. But check your local Sobeys, check Fortino's.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. All right. Next.
Next, we can throw in some veg, any kind of veg you want. We brought some
Do you want to put those?
zucchini. We
Go
brought,
ahead.
Yep,
You can put some of that in.
zucchini.
What I like,
onions.
you'd want an onion in it,
Sure.
and you don't really want it too fine. You want a chunk. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I
nice
like
coarse
eating roasted
chunks.
onions. I like eating them anyway, roasted onions. So why don't we just put that in?
Sure.
And now you didn't put any garlic in. Is there garlic in the...
There is garlic in the marinade.
All right, okay,
Yeah.
there's
If
garlic.
you did want to roast the veggies in here, I would recommend taking
Now, how
whole
do you...
cloves.
I'm going to let you do the onion. How do you... I want to see the size of the... Whoa, Nelly. All righty. And...
If we're just going to roast this in the pan just like this, nice and coarse.
Oh, you got to love it with a butcher in the house. Good.
And the other thing I do is maybe just kind of release them a little bit from each other and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of spread
Okay,
them
all
around.
right. Great. And just put it around. I would serve a fabulous salad with this.
Yep, you can do that too. Yep.
You know, I mean, with some veg with it, and I don't know if I'd put roasted potatoes in it, though. I think what you've got in it is enough for the meat itself. And I might put a potato on the side, cooked separately.
I would
What
like
do you
either like a mashed potato or...
Yeah,
or-
that's it. That's right, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yes,
something like
yes.
that. Or even if you're trying to watch your starch, mashed parsnips. Use them just like mashed potatoes, but use parsnips instead of
You
potatoes.
and your parsnips.
Yeah, parsnips are great.
I'm telling you, he's on
Versatile.
what does it say on your T-shirt? Parsnips. All right, so that's going in now. Are we going to cover it?
Yes, we are going
Okay,
to cover
we
it.
are. And what's the oven at?
The oven is at 350 right now.
Okay,
Yep.
so let's see what we've got in the oven. And I'm going to give you this because I know it's hot. So I'll move that over to the side.
Oh, you can hear it sizzle.
Ooh. Okay, let's have a look at this. Yeah, right there, sure. Now. Oh, for heaven's sake. Isn't that lovely? And now I'm seeing how this has sort of caramelized, if you will. I see you kept them like this, and then the broccoli, some carrots. So that's really caramelized. So let's take one out and we'll plate it. And then I would save the bones.
Yeah, absolutely. Save the bones.
Save bones all the time. I do. Yeah, you can put it right here on this yellow. And then let's see you. Now, in the meantime, before you do that,
Throw this other one
I'm
in.
going to, yeah, because the oven's nice and hot. What, about this much? I guess that's fine.
Yeah, just enough to cover
Here you
over
go.
it there.
All right. So again, the beauty of using a cake pan or a little, that's an 8-inch round, by the way. Okay. People often say a chicken breast is dry. Yeah, they don't know, once again. I was one of those people once. There's a confession.
So here we go. That's
All
one of
right.
the other reason why we leave our fat on is you can already see the juice that's coming off of this.
To tell you the truth, I find skinless, boneless chicken breasts just that, dry, and people seem to be so happy to buy them when you can have a bit more flavor. And I think the bone is a free bonus. Plus, it's a cheaper cut.
Yeah, it's
Because you're not paying somebody to debone it. And what do you think all those shops are doing with those bones? They're making the broth that you buy.
That's right.
Sure, of course they are. So, okay. And you know, I will tell you this, that I make a very good turkey soup with the carcass of the turkey. I don't waste a thing on it. Turkey and chicken is such a meal that just keeps on giving, isn't
Yep.
it?
Oh, it certainly is. Yep, absolutely. It's one of my favorites to do.
Is that right?
Yep, because you can munch away all week. You can have sandwiches, you can have casseroles, you name it. Then you
Yep.
take the bones and you can make some broth out
Yep,
of it.
that's right.
Yep.
Make another whole soup.
You
If
could,
you want,
yeah.
sure you can. Sometimes I roast them before I make the soup.
Sure, why not?
And that's kind of a good, this looks really, really, really great. And what a nice sandwich you're going to get from that. Let's have some veg. Really, these are wonderful tips. This is an economical meal that you would pay a lot of money for in the restaurant, a nice dinner like that. So what is our point today? Feed the family at home, and it's a proven fact now with studies. Okay. Yeah, perfect. It's a proven fact that people that eat at home more often are healthier people. People that eat out up to 3 times a week are not as healthy because they make a habit of eating out, eating a meal out up to 3 times a week. It's actually not a great habit. So, in conclusion, I would suggest you stay home, save money, live longer, and enjoy. Now let's have a look. All right, as we get ready to say goodbye, look at this. Luke, I can't thank you enough for coming to us today and sharing these fabulous, simple and easy recipes. And boy, have we learned a lot.
Yes, thank you very much for having us. It's always such a pleasure to be here.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us today, and thanks for watching. I'm Ann Amodeo. I'm glad you joined me to learn a lot. I enjoyed your company, and I enjoyed your company too. So let's dig in and let's eat at home. We'll see you the next time. Bye for now.